Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? And welcome back to another video. So guess what? We have the Open Great League continuing on for another week, as well as the Little Holiday Cup is back. So I kind of took a week off, and then now it's back again. So which league are you playing? Let me know. Yeah, I don't really participate in the Little Cup metas too often. This one's not terrible, I guess, but it's also a glitch. Like when you're battling in it, for some reason it only happens in the Little Cup. I don't know if it was fixed or not, but like when you knock out an opponent's Pokemon, it like lags and you don't really see what they bring in until several turns later. Whatever it is, it's really annoying. Maybe that was fixed. I have no idea. But either way, let's go ahead and talk about the Open Great League. We're going to go ahead and dive right into it. So for the S rank, we got Clodsire leading things off. So you could run Clodsire with the Earthquake or Stone Edge, or you could run it with Earthquake and Sludge Bomb. I actually really enjoy the Sludge Bomb variant. It really depends on the team you're running, I guess. But I've been enjoying Sludge Bomb whenever I've been running Clodsire. I did battle one Clodsire with Sludge Bomb and Stone Edge, so no Earthquake. That's a pretty interesting moveset. But I haven't considered using that moveset. I do like having Earthquake on it, but it will definitely catch people off guard because if you're going up against a Talonflame and you bait that Sludge Bomb and then you hit them with the Stone Edge next turn, But either way, Clodsire is a great Pokemon, right? It's been really good since it was introduced. Then next up we have Glowing Corsola, another fantastic Pokemon. It is an Astonish user. You get this from hatching eggs, 7-kilometer eggs. And I mean, when it was released, like during the event, it wasn't 7-kilometer eggs. I know it's from eggs from Mateo. I don't know if that's the only way you can get it now or not, or if it's just regular 7-kilometer eggs from friends. To be honest, I'm really not sure. But either way, it's a fantastic Pokemon. You do want to try and get a better IV one by swapping. Now, the best one I got, I traded for a lot of them. I got a rank 243, and I'm happy with it. I'm more than happy to build it once I get enough XLs to build it, because I don't have enough XLs. I have like 190 something, and I need 296 because I need a level 50 Corsola. So, but yeah, I mean, great Pokemon all around. Love the Astonish. Love the bulk it has. It's just such strong Pokemon. All in all, you want to avoid normal types, right? Because obviously the normal type Pokemon are going to double resist the Astonish. But yeah, great Pokemon. Enough about Glowing Corsola. We're moving on to Primeape. So Karate Chop plus Rage Fist. I've seen Ice Punch, maybe because of the boost this season. I've also seen Close Combat, so it could go either way. You're definitely running Rage Fist on it, the Community Day move, but aside from that, either of the other two, Close Combat or Ice Punch, both of them are really good. It really depends on what you prefer. But next up we have Manabuzz. So Manabuzz is super thick, super tanky, great Pokemon. Yeah, I mean really tanky. So it can take hits for days. It has a decent moveset. I mean, Snarl, right? I mean, sometimes Air Slash, but like usually I would say Snarl, especially in the Open Great League. And then you have Dark Pulse. It also has Foul Play and then Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, still not the greatest move, even though it was buffed at one point. But yeah, I mean, still the tankiness helps out Manabuzz a lot. Then we have Diggersby. So Diggersby has been really good. It's been pretty consistent, right? Like ever since last season, it's just been showing up more and more and more. I don't know if that's because of the Clodsire buff. And also Rollout got buffed, obviously, last season, right? So, of course, Diggersby is going to do well against Rollout users because it's resisting Rollout. So, the extra damage that Rollout doesn't really matter to Diggersby. And, of course, I mean, it received the Fire Punch buff this season. So, you definitely... Now, I would expect Fire Punch, Scorching Sands. I would say that's probably the most common moveset, even last season. But occasionally, you would see the Hyper Beam. But, yeah, Fire Punch, Scorching Sands, definitely a great Pokemon. Definitely with Quick Attack as well as a fast move. Yeah, you definitely want Quick Attack because Mudshot was nerfed, so it's going to take longer to get to those moves. And then we have Gastrodon, my favorite Mud Slap user, so absolutely fantastic Pokemon. Love using Gastrodon. I've used it so many times in the Great League and the Ultra League. It's just so good. It really is. It really is. I mean, the Mud Slap damage is no joke, right? Then we have Feraligatr or Shadow Feraligatr. I've always been enjoying the Shadow one. Of course, the regular one was also a possibility as well. Definitely need the Hydro Cannon move. And Shadow Claw is the fast move. Hydro Cannon is a Community Day move that it got. Hopefully, this does receive a Classic Community Day in the future because I need XLs for like I got a Mighty Hundo Feraligatr, so for like the Master Premier, I definitely want the XLs for it. But either way, definitely the Shadow Claw, Hydro Cannon, and then most of the time it does have Ice Beam. You see it with Crunch occasionally, but past couple of seasons, it's mostly been Ice Beam. And then we have Azumel. Azumel's really, really good. Really good save swap. And a good Pokemon in general, of course, because of the bulk that it has. And then we have Dunsparce. I would say this is probably my favorite rollout user to use. We do have other rollout users as well, but I think Dunsparce is just fantastic as a rollout user. Of course, there's other ones like Lickilicky. We have Bibarel this season, but I still think Dunsparce is just better, in my opinion. Although Bibarel is a lot of fun to use. Moving on to the A rank, we have Pangol as a fighting type. Yeah, I mean, the Primeape and maybe even the Annihilape I prefer more than Pangol now. But before those Pokemon became super meta relevant with Rage Fist, Pangol was so much fun to use and so good. It's still really fun to use, but it does have a lot of Pokemon it has to watch out for. But if it gets shields down, it could do really well. Then we have Jumpluff. Jumpluff is super bulky, right? Most of the time when it comes to Jumpluff, you do see it with Aerialace and Energy Ball. I really like the Shadow version of Jumpluff because I like the extra damage you do with Aerialace from the Shadow. If you're running the non-Shadow, you could consider Acrobatics. I still see Aerialace even on the non-Shadow, mostly. Probably you just get to it faster, right? Then we have Cubink. Cubink, pretty good Pokemon. It's kind of like Bastiodon in a way where it does have to watch out. It needs because it kind of it really needs to be alignment dependent. Cubink, not as much as Bastiodon does. So Cubink is still a good Pokemon, and it is highly ranked, but it's one of those Pokemon that really needs alignment. Or really, at least prefers it. But a little bit more flexible than Bastiodon, but not a whole lot. And then we have Cantonian Marowak. So I like this one. I just really, really want the Shadow. I really want the Shadow. I hope the Shadow Cubone comes back with the Rocket event next month. Because I don't have any Shadows Cubone. So when they allowed a couple years ago, when they allowed us to evolve the Shadow Cubone into Shadow Marowak, or the Alolan Marowak, I should say, they allowed us to evolve any Cubone into Alolan Marowak. I evolved all my Shadows because the Cantonian one was not good, so I just went ahead and evolved my all my Shadows, even though Alolan Marowak, it may not have been the best even back then. But still, there was no reason to evolve all of them, but I did. But anyway, moving on to Malamar. Malamar is a lot of fun. Malamar with Psywave is so strong. I've used this a lot in limited metas, but I've also used it in the Open Great League, and we will have it on a solid team option later on. And then we have Stunfisk. So the Thundershock did receive the buff this season. I do like Stunfisk a lot, and I actually have seen it a decent amount this season. Maybe not as common as I necessarily expected, but we still see it a good amount of times. Then we have Steelix. Steelix, of course, with the Thunderfang buff this season. And then Psychic Fangs. I've seen it with Psychic Fangs and Breaking Swipe, but I've also seen it with Psychic Fangs and then Earthquake or Psychic Fangs Crunch. So it really depends on your team. Then we have Quagsire or Shadow Quagsire. Yeah, I would say this is probably the best. Not really the best Mudboy because Gastrodon technically is a Mudboy as well. Same typing. But if we're talking Mudshot, this is probably the best one now. Wishcash, kind of outdated. So is Swampert. Quagsire still gets to those Aqua Tails really fast. The moveset you generally see is Aqua Tail and Stone Edge. Mudbomb could be a threat if you have. You could bait it, right? It's an option for Quagsire. I'd go with the Shadow one. Hopefully you have one. Annihilape still has Counter. It doesn't have Karate Chop. That's why I put Primeape a little higher. I do like Primeape more than Annihilape, but Annihilape, even with Counter, still gets to the Rage Fist fast, and it's still a really powerful fighting type. And then we have Superior, the grass typing. I would say this is one of my favorite grass types to use. I just love using Superior. And then moving on to the B rank, we do have Clefable. Okay, Fairywind was buffed last season, so Clefable is a really good Pokemon. I thought it would be more common when it was buffed, but it actually isn't as common as I expected. In the Ultra League, it's more common, but I guess Wigglytuff is the more common Fairy type user in the Great League. And then we have Guzzlord. Guzzlord's a lot of fun. I like using Guzzlord a lot. I've used it this season. It's Axon put out a Guzzlord team, and I've been doing well with it. So it's Guzzlord. I'll just tell you what it is. Guzzlord, Cloudsire with Sludge Bomb, and then Shadow Feraligatr. And that team has been fun for me. And then we have Shadow Machamp. Definitely would go with the Shadow one. I do have a rank 5 Shadow. I just never invested in it or like Elite TM'd the move onto it, like Karate Chop, because Primeape came out, and I just like Primeape and Annihilate more. I'm gonna be completely honest. Then we have Licky as another rollout user. See this more so in the Ultra League. Drapion, a Shadow Drapion, absolutely fantastic. Poison Sting was buffed, doing a little bit more damage, of course, and then whenever you see the Shadow, it's always Crunch Aqua Tail, and I like that moveset as well. The non-Shadows sometimes have Sludge Bomb. I think I battled it once, the non-Shadow with Sludge Bomb. It's always a possibility. Even the Shadow hits you with a Sludge Bomb. It could happen, but most of the time I just always assume it's Aqua Tail Crunch, and I think a lot of trainers probably assume that because that's the most common moveset as of right now. And then we have Alolan Sandslash, or the Shadow version of Alolan Sandslash. Powder Snow, Ice Punch, of course Ice Punch being buffed this season, and then Drill Run. Bulldoze was buffed as well, but Bulldoze is still not a great move. You still want Drill Run on this Sandslash. Then we have Wigglytuff, of course. I've been using Wigglytuff a lot. Love the normal fairy typing. Charm, obviously, is just as powerful as ever. Moving on to the other options, we do a Bastiodon. Bastiodon's okay. I don't know, like it needs a alignment. It needs a good lead, and there's so many Pokemon that do well against it that are highly ranked, right? We got the Dunsparce, we got the Gastrodon, the Diggersby, right? The Primeape, what is it? The Clodsire. I mean, obviously there's some Pokemon that it will do well against, right? But yeah, just something to keep in mind. I don't think it's that good. I battle it once in a while, but I really don't see it much. And then we have Golurk, a Shadow Golurk, just another Mudslap user. I hit Legend last season in the Halloween Cup with Shadow Golurk, and it was a lot of fun. I feel like it's more so used, though, in limited metas like the Halloween Cup. If you want to go with Mudslap, I'd probably go with another one like Gastrodon and the Kanto Marowak. But still, I mean, I do see this once in a while, so it's not bad. And then we have Registeel. Okay, Registeel, of course, did receive the Zap kind of nerf. It was last season, I think. But still, it was only the nerf to the percentage that it could debuff your opponent. I think it's at a 33% chance now. The damage is still there. Registeel's still pretty good. And then we have Morpeko. Morpeko is fun to use. I remember using it for the first time last season, like when it came out, and it was so much fun. You kind of have to watch out because it's like, obviously you can't see like Mudslap users, right, or Charm users, but like because it's so glassy it cannot take a hit, but it gets to the moves that Aura Wheel so fast, and it was actually buffed this season because Thundershock is doing more damage, so it's actually really strong. And then we have Dragonite, or Shadow Dragonite. Okay, another Dragon Breath user, pretty good Dragon type. Same with Goodra, we have Goodra on this list as well. Wolverine, Wolverine was super meta years ago, not as much nowadays. However, I see this more in the Ultra League, but you might see it once in a while in the Great League, not too often. Talonflame, a lot of fun to use Talonflame. Yeah, I mean, I've been running a team that's ABA weak to Talonflame, and, it's not the most common Pokemon, but when you do see it in the lead, you're like, oh, man, this is not going to be good. Yeah, I mean, pretty good Pokemon. We talked about Goodra, Dugong. Dugong is a lot of fun. It's also really good. I think it's a pretty good save swap. And of course, the debuff, it's already tanky, and then the debuff helps it with become even more tanky, right? Electivire, okay. I didn't have to put this on the list. I could have put something like Bibarel on the list instead. I probably should have. Bibarel or Starmie are definitely better. Those are two Pokemon that could have been on the list. But Electivire did receive a buff, a couple buffs, right? Because Thundershock is doing a little bit more damage, and then Ice Punch is as well. And then it has Wild Charge, so more or less a fun Pokemon. And then we have Galarian Weezing. Galarian Weezing, more so in the Ultra League. I've been using it in the Ultra League as well this season, but still pretty good, pretty fun. It gets to the moves fast. And then we have, another Dragon Breath user, or Ice Fang user, because it does have Ice Fang. And I've actually been, I actually battled an Ice Fang one. Not that it's that common, but like I've actually seen it, so it's actually pretty cool. And I know people have made videos on it. But let's go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So for the first team, we have Alolan Sandslash with double Mudslap, so Gastrodon and Cantonian Marowak. I believe last season, Wholesome _ created this team, if I'm not mistaken. What can I say about the team? it is a good team. It is a strong team. Talonflame will absolutely destroy it. You do have answers, especially if you're running the Water Pulse on the Gastrodon, right? And even if you're not, you could bait it and then go for Body Slam. And then you also have Rock Slide on the Kanto Marowak. But yeah, it's just something you do have to watch out for because Talonflame is going to resist all the moves. It doesn't resist the ice moves from the Sand Slash, but you cannot take Incinerate because you're double weak to it. So I've used Wigglytuff with this team as well. I've also used Wigglytuff, Gastrodon, Drifblim, which was a lot of fun. So you could try different versions of it. Next up, we have Azumel in the lead with Double Astonish. So for those that remember, Throw Technical created, I think it was as you double ghost. This was years ago, like with Sableye. It was like Sableye and was it the Alolan Malak? I don't remember what the other ghost was, but either way, this is kind of a similar take on it. You could run Wigglytuff double ghost, with these two ghosts as well. It's probably something I want to try as soon as I get enough XLs for that Galarian Corsola. I'm not going to invest Rare Candy XLs because I know I'll get enough eventually, but yeah, I mean, Double Astonish, two really strong Astonish users. Love it, love it, love it. I can't wait to try out Galarian Corsola. And then next up, we have Steelix in the lead with the Thunderfang, remember that, and then double fighting types, so Primeape and Annihilate. So originally, back when you were running Dragon Tail on Steelix, fairy types like Wigglytuff, for example, actually don't do that bad against Steelix, right? Because you're double resisting the fast moves. They're single resisting Charm. But because you're running Thunderfang, it's actually a good matchup now for Steelix because you're resisting Charm. And then you can debuff them as well with Psychic Fangs. And then you have the double fighting in the back. So could be a lot of fun. This team, I probably will use this team I'll give it a try. Sounds like a lot of fun. Next up, we have Malamar, Cloudsire, Dunsparce. This team has also been doing well for me last season and this season. I love the Cloudsire, Dunsparce backline. Diggersby will kind of be a problem. I guess you could replace one of the back Pokemon with Diggersby, like maybe if you want Diggersby instead of Cloudsire. But still, a really strong team. And then next up, we have another team. We have Jumpluff with Feraligatr and then Diggersby. So I've been enjoying this team, a lot. Whenever I've been using the Shadow Jumpluff. The Gator, pretty good safe swap. And then the final team is going to be Wigglytuff with Cloudsire and Guzzlord in the back. So if you want to, you could take out Guzzlord for a different dragon type like Goodra maybe. But I think when it comes to dragons, I think Guzzlord, as long as it's not up against something it doesn't want to see, it's going to do well, right? Because it's going to resist the Astonish from Galarian Corsola, or if you happen to battle Drifblim. So it's going to do well there, right? I just think Guzzlord is a great dragon type. So I would go with Guzzlord if you happen to have it. Obviously, it doesn't want to see fairy types because it's double weak to it. But I mean, if it has like a good matchup or like at least a neutral matchup, you'll be fine. The backline is double. Both of those Pokemon are weak to ice, so something to keep in mind. If there's a Dugong, could be annoying. But anyway, these are the teams I have. Let me know what you think of them, and let me know what meta you plan on playing, and why is it the Open Great League? No, I'm just kidding. If you like the Holiday Cup, the little edition, that's you're more than welcome to enjoy it. Whatever you enjoy. But either way, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.